And we are live. Yes. Welcome, good night, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. My name is Wim Dijkgraaf. I'm founder of Quotation Factory. And Quotation Factory is a company based in Holland. We deliver a platform for metalworking companies in order to help them with their ambitions in a digital transformation. One important aspect of your digital transformation is a new approach or new possibilities in estimating. So that is what this live stream is all about. And because it's about digital transformation, digitalization, computer software, etc., and most metal workers find that a little bit gray, I added this small work of art and a colorful. I dressed myself a little bit more colorful. There we go. Let's add a presentation. So Quotation Factory, we are a cloud platform that helps metalworking companies in their that have a business model based on high mix, low volume, and therefore they have, for example, to respond to a lot of requests for quotations, as well as they have to constantly estimate correctly in order to be a reliable supplier. That's what we focus mainly on with Quotation Factory. Over the years, we will evolve in the digitalization platform for the manufacturing industry, where with all the factories running on our platform, we will become an industrial ecosystem. Quotation Factory, there are a lot of components under the hood. What I will focus on right now is our estimation engine. So our estimation engine focuses on estimating production time, material usage, as well as lead times. In this presentation, I will mainly focus on production time. So looking at estimating production time, you can underestimate production time and overestimate production time. The best way is to correctly estimate it, but that's an art or a science in itself. So let's have a quick look at what happens if you underestimate. What that means, that what if you estimate less time than needed? Well, a couple of bad things happened. You will have cost overruns and therefore eroded profit margins or even loss. Another bad side effect is that you will probably have problems delivering on promised deadlines. So you miss the delivery deadlines, with a potential consequence of a loss of customer trust and potential future orders. Well, then, as a result of this, your schedules will be unrealistic. Therefore, workflows will be disrupted, which will not only impact the client for whom you estimated incorrectly, but also multiple clients that you have promised deadlines for. And potentially you will be overburdening your resources, especially, for example, your employees that have to work in larger time windows in order to compensate for the underestimated time. And that results in a lot of inefficiencies. Now, it's also possible to overestimate production time. So what if more time is estimated than needed? There are a couple of good side effects, which is, for example, a higher profitability margin or higher profitability. But then, of course, that's only good if your client accepts that. Also good is it increases the likelihood of meeting or exceeding your delivery commitments, meaning boosting the customer confidence. But of course, those aspects should be part of your whole calculation and sales price calculation, and should not be the good side effects of bad overestimated production time. So there are also some bad side effects. So for example, inflated pricing, so which will result in reduced competitiveness and lower bid success rate because you are simply too expensive to do business with. Unnecessarily long lead times, so lower customer interest and potential loss of contracts as well. Excessive time buffers, which lead to inefficient production schedules and leading to resource waste. And of course, underutilized machines and workforce, meaning reduced overall operational efficiency. So the art is to estimate realistically, that therefore you will have great input for your planning or scheduling logic. You will also, part of your sales process, for example, in your quoting process, you will be able to promise and really commit to that promise. So what is needed in order to become better and better and better in estimations is a continuous improvement process. That's why this guy is here, because most people hate the word continuous improvement. But not simply a continuous improvement process. You will have to transition from an open loop system. So that is where plans are executed without feedback, relying heavily on experience and intuition. So for example, your estimators get feedback and they adjust their mindset and try to tweak the estimation logic, for example, in Excel sheets. The whole idea is that you create a closed loop system with a rapid feedback cycle, such that data-driven decisions can be made on real-time measurements. So you can continuously adjust and optimize through a feedback closed loop system, such that your estimations become more and more realistic over time, and that in an agile way with short cycles, such that you get there as soon as possible. And then if you have evolved from a closed loop to an open loop system, from an open loop system to a closed loop system, then you will notice that using the appropriate techniques, you can shift from a reactive human-driven closed loop that focuses on historical data and gradual improvements towards a more predictive process where you use all kind of logic and AI-powered algorithms that enable you foresight-driven adjustments and real-time optimization. So you go from a reactive to a more proactive and even predictive way of dealing with estimations. What this presentation will focus on is the reactive human-driven closed loop, because that's the first step that is needed in order to become a data-driven company, because you need a considerable amount of data points before you can think or apply more predictive AI-based algorithms. So just quickly looking back at Quotation Factory as a cloud platform, what we currently have is a cloud platform with over 55 metalworking companies working 24/7 on the platform in various countries around the world. So we started in the Netherlands. Of course, Belgium is quite nearby, and Germany as well. But nowadays we have customers in United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Poland, China, Egypt, and every day new metalworking companies that have a strong digitalization ambition know how to find us around the world. And we run that currently just on one data center, a Microsoft Azure data center from Amsterdam in the Netherlands. Probably in the future, we will expand to multiple data centers around the world when needed. And it's not just a cloud platform. We are able to connect and observe what is in real time happening in the factory, on the factory floor, and in the offices. And therefore, we have implemented what is called industrial IoT, industrial Internet of Things technology, such that through the IIoT Edge connector, we can connect the configuration of the virtual factory in the cloud to what is physically happening in the factory. So there's a critical component that we have operational now for over 3 years, which is called the IIoT Edge connector, also known as the Quotation Factory Edge connector. It's freely available, and that's also the technology to create integrations, on-premise integrations with our cloud-based platform. So we have the notion of a virtual factory with all the capabilities of metalworking companies configured in the cloud. And through the IoT Edge connector, we can connect our cloud platform with on-premise systems, as well as observe what is happening on the shop floor and more. So one of the use cases is workflow automation. So what you see here is the arrow lines show that Quotation Factory can be connected through the Edge connector with on-premise ERP systems, but also with on-premise CAM systems. And at the bottom of this picture, you see the common, in Western Europe, the common CAM systems that we encounter frequently, such as, for example, the Catman suite by LVD, or for example, the BuySoft CAM systems that have a nice API that we can talk to, and also the Trumpf software. But there are many others. So if you look at the ERP, then the ERP system often gives us feedback about the status changes of an order through the factory. So for example, the moment in which that it is producing, or it's being packaged, or on transportation, or dropped at the client side, delivered. That feedback often comes from the ERP system, and that can be fed back into the Quotation Factory cloud platform in order to real-time update the status of those projects. We can also automate the whole workflow through the CAM systems. So for example, what we do is you can upload an assembly, we analyze all the parts, and based on the features found and the working steps found, we know which CAD files should be sent to which CAM system. So that whole workflow that often the work preparation team has to do, the disc jockeying with all the files, etc., we can fully automate that. And nowadays, we have a couple of customers that even connected their machines and other devices, such as barcode readers, etc. And they are able to also give feedback about what happens on the machine or on the shop floor. So also feedback can be sent to the quotation platform at machine and device level. So what you see over in a normal workflow is that Quotation Factory is, for example, used to estimate production times as part of the quotation process. What is then possible is to also integrate the CAM systems, and the CAM systems will, for example, do a simulation of that part of the production process. The output of the simulation can be simulated time production time based on the simulation, but can also be, for example, manufacturability problems as feedback. So a manufacturability check can be done by the on-premise CAM systems, and also that information can be sent back to Quotation Factory. So also the simulated production time can be sent to Quotation Factory. And then last but not least, it's possible to even connect logic to your machines and other devices in order to obtain the real measured production time from the machines and from other devices. And you can send that easily back to Quotation Factory. So then we have actually at least 3 data points. The production time based on the estimation, the production time based on the simulation, and the production time based on the measurement. Those 3 data points can be, will then be stored in the Quotation Factory cloud platform in order for all kind of logic to analyze and find the outliers and problems in where too large differences are in those estimated times. So what you see is that we use Microsoft Azure Industrial IoT in the cloud that can communicate with the actual factory through the Quotation Factory Edge connector. Over 55 metalworking companies are connected to the platform this way. For the ERP integrations, we have third parties that deliver those integrations for the most common ERP systems in specific areas around the world. The CAM systems, we on GitHub have open sourced those integrations. Over the coming months, more of those integrations will be available on GitHub. And the machines and devices can be connected using an open protocol like MQTT. So our Edge connector has an MQTT client built in, such that we can subscribe to specific topics on the MQTT broker in order to obtain all the data needed from machines and devices. In the release, the upcoming release, somewhere beginning of next week, you will find that all this is available in the user interface in Quotation Factory itself. So what you will see is you can zoom in on specific working steps, such as, for example, CNC machining or sheet metal cutting or tube bending or whatever working step you estimate. And then you will be able to compare 2 of the 3 types of data points that are recorded. So one is the estimated time, the simulated time, that's the second one from the CAM system, and the third one is the measured time. And all of these can be compared individually. And then you have the mode to look at the actual time and the dots show the differences. So if it's under that dotted line, then the result is an underestimation. Is it above that line, then it's an overestimation that you have done. And the dotted line, the dots on the dotted line resemble those estimations that are really accurate already. And there will be, you will see in the user interface all ways to filter within time ranges, specific resources, specific machines, working steps. And you can look at this from an absolute value perspective as well as a ratio. So for example, a percentage-based difference. And then of course the dotted line will be horizontal, will be 100%, and then below is an underestimation shown as a percentage and an overestimation shown as a percentage. So in summary, Now Quotation Factory gives you the ingredients not only to automate your workflows, but also feedback information from what happens in your factory, feed that back to the Quotation Factory cloud platform, and we will have the logic in place to help you pinpoint problems in your estimation logic. The first step is that we help to connect as many of our customers as needed. Every customer is in another digitalization maturity phase, but many of our customers are already at a maturity level that they want to store the estimated, simulated, and actual production times and be able to do an analysis on top of that. We will give that basic infrastructure needed for that as a jump start. And on top of this, we will start creating more intelligent logic over time that will help to identify outliers. That will be the first step. But the second step will be that the estimation logic will be able to update or fine-tune itself. So we will go from human closed loop to a closed loop where it learns, but it's still under control of a human being, whether you want to apply those changes. And then it will go to an AI agent-based closed loop system, where the AI agent has the agency to fine-tune where needed all the estimation, underlying estimation logic. So this is what we are moving towards. If this sounds like magic and you want to know more, and it really applies well to where you are in your digitalization journey, visit our website at quotationfactory.com. You can find me on LinkedIn if you search for Wim Norbert Dijkgraaf. It's a Dutch name. And if you are already a user on our platform and you want to jumpstart on this, you will be able to chat immediately in the app with our customer success team, and they will be able to plan a new sprint, a couple of days in order to fine-tune this and set this up for you. Hope this was inspiring, and hope to see you in the next live stream. Have a nice day. Ciao, ciao.